Alrighty. Whew. We are in the car. Alrighty. Hey y'all, it's Kat
and Amber.
We are Wandering Soup as always, and we are today riding in a car.
Hey Wanderers.
In the club. Sort of. But anyway, since we're riding in the car, we are in a short-term rental, and there have been a lot of questions from people asking about what they can do when they get here, transportation-wise. Should they rent a car? Should they use Uber, Didi, or Indriver, any of those apps? Should they...
Do you buy a car?
Buy a car. Short or long-term rental. All these questions are out there, so we are going to answer some of those questions for you based off our experience of being here for a year.
Yep, we got you.
Well, I don't know what the other cross was for, but 1 year we've been here. So let's start with the basics, right? So the thought process we have is it really depends on how long you're going to be here. That's going to answer actually a lot of those questions. Mm-hmm. Like, so if you're only going to do the 180, 30 days, 60 days, it really doesn't make any sense to buy a car, right? That totally doesn't make any sense. So first look at that. If you're here for 180 days or even a year, I'm leaning toward Ubering, Didi, Indriver, or short-term rental.
Right, because you don't have the responsibility of a car, of trying to figure out where to park a car,
right,
keep a car, and all that. And so you really can just get around when you need to get around, and that's mostly for exploring. Right. And people who know the city better than you are probably better to do that than you are driving around.
So you can hire a driver,
yeah,
and they can take you where you need to be. You can look up everything and go where you need to go. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You got Uber, you got Didi, you have options. Some of them, it's gonna
like Indriver.
Yeah, it's gonna be costing you money though. I mean, those short rides add up after a while. Those long rides are definitely gonna add up, especially if you have to pay for a driver to go somewhere far out, like a cenote or something like that. It's gonna cost you. So factor that into when you're coming here. You know, it's cheaper than the U.S., but it's gonna add up. It also is going to depend on how many people you have in your family that's coming with you. If it's only, say, 2 of you, you'll be fine. If it's 3 of you, you'll be okay. Now, you're looking at 4 or 5 people. Remember, you're getting into a car, and the driver's seat is gone. So that means there's only room really for 4 people. And during COVID, they didn't even allow 4 people in a car.
Yeah, we can only do 2 at a time. Yeah, so we had to, for the 3 of us, we had to take separate Ubers, which adds up if you decide to go that route.
Right. That's one away, but you know, you never know, could happen again. But even saying that, if you're 5 or 6 strong, you may want to look at a shorter long-term rental. Now, shorter long-term rentals are not cheap here. In the off season, you're probably looking at about $200, maybe $300 for a month. And that includes all the insurance and coverages and things like that. Even if you say you have insurance, a lot of them still be like, well, you still got to pay a deductible, which may be the cost of the rental. It may be a little less. It really just depends.
Right, plus a deposit.
Yeah, I think that deposit is that deductible.
It's part of the, okay.
Right. That's how it was explained to me for this rental. That's in case something were to happen. That deposit that you put goes on the deductible that the renter of the car is holding. So you don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about having it or asking you for it if you were to total off their car or have an accident. And that's possible in these Merida streets, y'all. Very, 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 very freaking possible. Long term, I mean, rental in high season, woo, you're looking at a good payment.
Yeah, at least $600.
At least
a month.
At least, and usually around, it could be as high as $800. And that's not because everybody wants a car. Because it's cool, it's a great time to see the state and the travel. Hey, we got a car, so obviously it works, right? So that's it. First things, look at how long you're going to be here. Now, if you're over a year, what do you recommend?
If you're going to be here for a while, I also think it depends on your location. Because if you're going to be here longer than a year, then you've chosen a spot, most likely. And you're going to sit there for a minute, probably. So if you're pretty far out from kind of like the hub of the city and where everything is, or where you tend to actually go to do things, handle your daily business, you're going to be putting a lot of money into an Uber every week if you're making that trip from, you know, from way out, trying to get to wherever it is you need to go on a regular basis. basis.
Right.
So you might want to consider putting money into buying a car, because it's going to add up. At some point, all those Ubers are going to add up to the price of a used car here.
Right.
Eventually,
right. And again, if you got 4 or 5 people in your family, you might want to lean toward that purchase of a car or a long-term rental. Remind you, a long-term rental is going to cost in the high season, and it's going to cost in the low season. It's not going to be free, so it's going to come up. And that's just the cost of doing business, and you got to figure out which one you want.
Right. I mean, the difference is that if you're going to buy a car, you have to buy it straight out. There's no financing, any of that. So, I mean, that's certainly something to consider. If you're not trying to do that, then hey, Uber all day. I like Ubering. I didn't miss driving, y'all. I really did not. I love being driven around. Call me, whoever you want to call me. I'll sit in the back seat and let somebody else drive. I will do it.
Yeah, and I'm here. I prefer a car. We're going to buy a car eventually because we're going to be here long term. And to me, it's just ease of getting, just like, leaving your house, getting your car, go where you want to go. And I also think that you get to see more of the city. I feel like when we get a car, which we've done, this is like our second or third time renting a car, because we just wanted to see more without just getting a straight ride to wherever we think we want to go. We want to ride and just amble around the city and be surprised and see the beauty of what Merida is. You will not see it getting Ubers. I don't care what you say.
You also get that walking too. I mean, obviously you're not getting the distance that you're going to get driving, but you're going to see a lot of things walking as well. If you get an Uber and ride somewhere and get out and walk around, you're going to see a lot of things.
I ain't walking at 200 degrees. I ain't know you can convince me and tell me that 200 degrees and walking is fun. A heat stroke is not fun. I want to get in an air conditioned car. And I want to go to where I want to go. If it's an hour out, 30 minutes out, I just don't want to be limited. And I think an Uber will limit you because the driver's going to take you to where you want to go. And we've been in the Ubers and we've been passing like, I want to go see that. I want to go see that. And we never get back to it though, because we really don't know where the heck we were at when we saw it. And it's in Spanish. If we didn't get a really good glimpse, if we were going 30, 45 miles an hour, we may not even had enough time to take a picture of it to go back to it. Right. And it was only the outside. We don't, we just didn't get it.
The struggle. I hate that.
Right. That's the worst part of it to me. And that's why I lean, if you're going to be here long term, buy a car. You can get a used car here. Now, you got to worry about maintenance and things like that. So, don't get the worst, cheapest thing you can find thinking, we're just going to go from point A to point B to B, C. Get you something reliable for you. You don't want to be out here in these Merida streets. And it's 200 degrees outside. It's not something I would want. But, Amber probably would be all right because, she like to walk in the heat.
Well, when we actually do purchase a car, and then we will definitely give you the ins and outs of that. But right now, we're just letting you know you have your options. And to start off with, you want to do the easiest option. Right. And then as time goes on, you definitely want to consider, because that's also an option that you can invest in something that's yours.
Right.
And you can tear up with all the potholes.
And one thing we haven't talked about is something you really need to think about, and that's you and your driving abilities. Because let me tell you, these Merida streets ain't no joke.
Hence the potholes.
If it ain't a pothole, it's the driver that's an a-hole. And they are. It's a lot of one-way streets here that don't have stop signs. It's just assumed that you know. And you will know by flow of traffic. So you got to be really observant. They will make a road out of no road. It's a miracle sometimes. There will be 2 lanes on the ground that you can see, but there will be 4 lanes of cars. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. And you got to be aware of this.
You got to get in where you fit in.
You got to be a little aggressive here. And if you're not an aggressive driver, you might want to get in the back seat of an Uber. Because it'll keep your blood pressure down. Because baby, they will raise it here. Because it's no joke. I've seen my life flash before my eyes several times since we've been in the back seat of an Uber. I've actually rode with my eyes closed.
And she refused to get in the front seat because we had to ride in the front. I had to always sit in the front to see the danger that was ahead. Because
she said it ain't that bad. She like riding the Uber than riding the front seat, baby. Experience the thrill of the ride. I'm gonna get in the back, close my eyes, pretend I am somewhere else in an air conditioning room, on my couch, somewhere else, because baby. They will stress you out here. And if it ain't the stress, the Ubers here ain't great. These cars are not the best cars I've ever seen in my life. They're a little dirty. They're a little dusty. And they don't believe in shocks because it's a ride inside of the ride. You will be a bouncer, and that's just how it go.
But if you've been around, especially to other places and ridden in Ubers and Lyfts in other countries outside the United States, then you know that it's part of the territory.
All right, so we've had this debate, Amber and I, several dozen times on which country is the worst drivers. And we're talking about Asia, America, and Mexico. And you know, I'm just gonna be honest. They all full of humans, and all them humans cannot drive. It's just I've just accepted that fact, and I'm not saying I'm the world's best driver, but I believe in rules and regulations, and these people tend to not do that. I don't know, they just feel like get in where you fit in. Asia was the exact same way. I closed my eyes almost every time I was in a car there.
Every time.
I mean, because it was even worse because he had all the motorbikes, you know, so it was like a throng of motorbikes and cars, and everybody was trying to get in. If they saw an inch where they could get in, they got in. Mexico is just like there's rules and people follow them when it fits. When it don't, they make their own rules, but then the traffic seems to get the new rule and they roll with it.
We didn't get the memo. We didn't get it. You don't get it until you get
in it.
You're in the roundabout and it's like, what we do next?
Right. You follow the traffic. And then like the parking on the street, you'll see a sign that say no parking. It'll be 50 cars there. And we've been told, you know, follow the route, follow the people. If the people park right there, park right there. You know, if they make it a 4-lane road, you go with the 4-lane road. If they turn on right on red, you turn right on red. If they don't, you sit there. Because I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. But you can get a driver's license here. I don't know if it's going to help you because they don't pay to follow the rules, but I don't know. I haven't ever really seen anybody get pulled over for like speeding or anything.
No. Mm-mm.
I haven't seen any tickets.
No, we ain't got to worry about that. We ain't got to worry about...
You just got to worry about them.
You just go.
Waking up and deciding they're going to drive right today. That's it. And so that is our thought process on driving in Merida. Look at how long you're going to be here. Figure out which one of those things, those options. You got a lot, thankfully. Which one's going to work for you and your family? If it's you solo and you're going to be here short term, go and get that Uber and that Didi. Don't worry about it. Get you a short term rental for like 30 days so you can see the city. Then move on with your life. If you're going to be here over a year and you got 4 or 5 people in your family, you want to look at a car or a van. You're going to end up mad. So you might as well go on, think about that, put that in your budget.
Yep, exercise your options.
Everybody in between, figure out where you fit in. I am Kat.
And Amber.
We are Wondering Soup, y'all. Peace and love. Boom, boom.